Hello. Are we live? Testing, testing. Oh, 1, 2, 3. All right, gamer. I'm with you. Got my coffee. Dirty Bird, how we doing? Alejandro. Oye. It's not oye, it's oje. No, there's a J in there, isn't it? Oje. Hola, Ben, ¿cómo te va? I'm doing well. How are you, Alejandro? Gamer, how you doing? Lala, great to have you. Welcome back. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. All right. Let's get ourselves situated, shall we? Coffee cheers. Love it. I'm doing good, Dirty. Edgemark Studio. Great to have you. All right. So I just got a little bit of reference of a hand coming in hot. Damn, now you can be Mexican. Hell yeah. I don't know how far I'll get with just understanding that, but I think I'd figure it out. All right, let's get some sketching going, shall we? I want to just get stuck straight into it. We'll see where the stream takes us. Hola. And Yelly Draws. Hola, ¿cómo te va? See, I'm practicing. All right, give me un momento, por favor. All right, how's the audio as well? Lana. Look at this early Lana. How you doing? Jesus, hola? Am I saying hola right? Hola? I don't know, I'm saying like hola. Tomoki, how you doing? All right, so yeah, let me know about the old audio levels. I'm fashionably early. Look at that. I like it. Trendsetter. Okay. Let's go. If I'm honest, it's the first time. No. Am I going to lie there? I'm not sure. No, I think it's correct. This is the first time I've picked up a stylus or anything since last week's stream. I have been flat out with other projects. So we might be a little bit rusty today. We'll see. All right, trying to get those big old shapes in, just to start with. Alejandro, you bloody legend. Thank you. Jay Ponce, hola. Yeah, am I saying hola right? I sound silly when I say it. Or at least I feel silly when I say it, but it might be correct. Edgemark Studios, howdy howdy. Oh, I forgot I was on my other account. This is the name of my newest venture. Oh, Bone Brew, nice one. Nice one. Yes, Lana, daylight savings. That is correct. All right, now we got the basic shape. Man, I need a beefier computer. There is a little bit of lag on my end. You guys probably don't feel it, but just from the pencil hitting the old canvas, I can feel it, and it's not pleasant. All right, let's go here. Start stylizing up a little bit of the phalanges, shall we? Oh, it feels good to draw. When you haven't done it all week, it's just like, we're back. Let's see what we've got here. Now with fingers, oftentimes, I do like to put like an edge, or at least like an imaginary edge, right? On the actual fingers themselves. What I mean by that is instead of just having like a tube, I would like to almost do something like that. So there could be like a top, side, and then like bottom sort of thing, because we get a little bit of this action going on here. We've got like the side of the finger. This is going straight into explanation mode, but it's what I'm thinking. I can't help it. It is what it is. So we've got this like side of the finger here. You don't even always have to even draw it. You just have to have the idea that it's there, because then we've got the nail that goes on top. All right, just makes it easier for me. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but it's just something I do every now and then, because then you've almost got a little bit of that under the bottom of that finger. So there's like an overlap here almost with that crease. Now that's pretty ambiguous, if you ask me. I don't really get that nice little silhouette, so I might turn that finger down. We'll just make sure we got some of those T intersections going here. Daylight savings, yes. Alejandro, when is your birthday? It is June. I don't know how to count in Spanish. What? Yeah, I'm sure I do. Spanish. Dos. June. June the 2nd. Super, how we doing? Oh man, you finished the finished a lot. Man, that was a long time ago. You finished that one, Lala. Fantastic. Glad to hear it. Sketchy, welcome, welcome. Gemini, that's right. Tour de Junio. There we go. 2nd de June. Alright, so I haven't really pushed these fingers enough, I don't think. They also need to be a little bit longer based on these fingers here. This guy. How's that game jam going, Super? What's the plan for today? I'm kind of just cruising at the moment. Just wanted to whack some pixels on the canvas. We may do some sculpting. We may do some painting. I'm not sure. We'll see how we feel. So yeah, this week been smashing out the old course platform and course content, which has been lovely. Doing a bunch of that. Also, that's not a real hand. No, it's a drawing. Here we are. The first iteration of the right side of Jane. Looking clean. Really, really clean. And this side, boom, magnetic, and you can't even see it. Taking me a while to get here, mind you, with the molding and casting, but she's coming together. Slowly but surely. Whoop, and Instagram just went out. Mr. Carl I remember having classes with you at Anim School. Love your work. Oh man, thank you so much. Sorry, Bernd Hogarth. Ah, thank you very much. Same as Everyday Pinky to take All right, where's my reference? Why does this do this? I don't know. It keeps bloody moving. I just want my stuff to stay where I put it. All right. Game jam went terrible. Oh no, everyone in our group got sick and things got overwhelming, so we decided to abandon the game jam but kept working on the game itself. Well, that's a positive though. That's a positive. Alex, how you doing? Yeah, I hope you guys are feeling better. Thank you, Sketchy. Yeah, I tell you what, I've been having so many issues. Just like the whole process of making the physical sculpts. It's the setup. It's the getting the process like dialed in, you know. It is like, I don't know if I can even show you. I gotta be careful throwing photos up here. How can I choose where to open? Hold on. I'll show you what I've been dealing with this week. Complete user error, right? I'm just throwing some images to the... So, finally got the mold going. All right, got the mold ready for casting. And then this happened. After the cure... Oh, shit. Open. Yeah. After the cure, she starts sweating. And it doesn't stop. And you wipe it away, and it keeps sweating. And you wipe it away, and it keeps sweating. And on and on and on. So you can't paint on that. You can't do anything with it. So then, turns out I just didn't shake the resin bottles enough. It was as simple as that. I just needed to give them a good shake. And that solved the bloody issue. I do want to do some, like, in my workshop streams. I think that could be fun. Let's try this on. Let's do like a real knobbly sort of... See how weird we can get with the head. Learning your stylized workflow massively improved my understanding of appeal in 3D animation. Now I'm killing the shots at work with appeal. Mr. Carwiz, that is freaking awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know that. That's fantastic. She must have been feeling the pressure. True sketchy. Man, it seems like a lot of work having a UV cure, etc. Even though the finish isn't as good, I possibly prefer. No. This is just molding and casting. This has got nothing to do with the 3D printer. The 3D prints came out fine. It's a little bit of work. Yeti, I see ya. How you doing, my friend? What is it keep for doing this? Keep my. Sorry, we're getting. It is a long base of the thumb, isn't it? Maybe we can use that to our advantage. I don't know how, but we can try. All right, so we got the palm. Yeah, maybe like something like that. But yeah, no, that wasn't the 3D print. Like the 3D print was actually like a reasonably small part of it because I still had to sculpt on top of it and everything. It was really just, honestly, just a base to sort of work on top of. I had to like carve and sculpt on top of the 3D print, but that's like a me thing. That's because I wanted it exactly how I would have carved it and sculpted it anyway. But we had some good breakthroughs yesterday of like the process for like filling those magnet holes and getting it like a nice clean flush finish, which was a big relief, honestly, more than anything, because it's like, all right, I know what I got to do now, then I can make the process more efficient. But the next challenge is going to be the left hand side, because there's a lot of divots and like the eye hole, the eyebrow hole, and the logo underneath. I think I've got to pre-silicon those because those are just little bloody air traps. That's all they are. Now we can also use the nails here to show that perspective. All right, so like these fingers, like everything about this is telling a story, right? A perspective story, let's say. I also think maybe this finger could come over here. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate you. How you doing, man? All right, I'm getting bored with hands. Let's get something more interesting. It's just good to sit and draw, you know. For those that are just joined, I haven't drawn in like a whole week, which is not good. What do we reckon? Let's do some figure. Do we do some figures? Where's my stream figure reference? What have we got? What do you got for us, Pinterest? Let's spin the wheel. I mean, damn, That's a cool pose. Let's give that a whirl. The twist. That's going to be the tricky part, right? So let's see if we can break it down. Find the extremities. Head sort of coming back this way. This is coming back here, but then going back there. This is going back here, but then going back there. You know what I'm talking about. So doing the gesture first, kind of. Cosmic, so you have a tent set up, right? I print in a shed outside to avoid the fumes. No, I print in the garage, but I've got air extraction. So I just whack that on and it just goes outside. Lala, when will you teach us to paint different skin types? One of these days, you know? Alright, trying to get some of this gesture going. Leg here. We're going back. Something like that. Now this kind of looks funky as where that leg is, but it kind of is what it is in a way. And then here. And I think this could actually be that. Now let's take a look at the head. We could very easily just do a profile view accidentally. All right. Because what we're doing as a whole really is we're looking down. Like if we were to just like whack a box over the top of her, we're sort of looking on top. All right. So we're going to see more of that head being tilted. So this is where I'd actually use maybe more of a box to get a feeling of that head tilt. This shoulder can come here, and then we can always come back over the top. Maybe more of a cylinder could help. Whatever gets the job done. I don't care what. I really couldn't care less what technique I use, you know. Now that looks weird, so we're going to redo that, okay? Let's pretend that didn't happen. I've had a hard week, so it's nice to draw with you guys. Take my mind off there. Oh, sorry to hear it, Lana. I think some of the lower leg is shadow and some not. What? What are you talking about, Willis? Alright, let's see if we can position this head in a way that doesn't look stupid. It's going to be tricky. So we've got this deltoid here that is really going to be coming in front. Then we've got the ear. Simple shapes, simple shapes. Don't get complex. Little doodle devil, how you doing? Head's too big. Head's too big. Now this is, you can probably see that I'm starting to get a little noodly. We've got to stop that. No noodles. Gesture. That's what we're trying to achieve in the beginning, right? So we really want to show that like stretch, I think. And this twist, like, Not a fan of that head. I mean, the body's feeling alright from a gesture standpoint. It's just that head's a tricky one. So where is that going to go? Let's get some anatomy going here. So we got that neck part here, head here. So everything's very like pinched. Better. Not amazing, but better? Oh, I don't know yet. But at least it looks like it's in front. Like this is in front. All right, let's knock it back. Let's have a play. The pillow reference, very good observation. We're twisting that pillow. This motion reminds me of a frog's jump, how the legs are loose and they follow. I forgot to sleep. Very good observation. I would agree. Okay. No, I'm going too much into the expression right now. We don't need to do that. We just need to get the larger idea. The flour sack. Yep. Hola Ben, ahora estoy en Instagram. I'm not sure what I just said there. Alejandro, if you're around the place, what did I just say? Ale Brigitte, appreciate you. All right, this is a nice little area that we've got here. So we've got the traps are gonna weave in to the top of that deltoid, which is gonna be behind. At least this area is gonna be behind that, and then sort of wrap around and onto that cylinder. So that's gonna give us a lot more direction of that arm. A dangerous game reading out other languages you don't know. This is true. I mean, we're rolling the dice here, but look, I trust you guys. Trust until trust is broken. Okay, let's have a look here. So this is going to be doing something like this. This is more on the more realistic proportions. Now, I think what's happening here is this is confusing me. This is actually all this one thing. It almost looks like it could go into sort of her armpit from the front view, but what this is, I believe, is that's the lats. So that's actually wrapping around like that. It's like a weird little illusion because she's so lean as well. I think that's the lats. Makes sense that it's the lats. Benny, how we doing? We bloody had a coffee. It's an Alebria Mexican craft. The J is pronounced like the hay in help. What? What would you even call this pose? A flail? I don't know if she's flailing. She seems pretty in control. A controlled flail? So we got the ribs here, so it'll be like poking out just a tad. Sun Guns, how we doing? Can't tell if it's just a tan line or a shadow. Nah, that's a shadow there. So that's what's tripping me up because I think if we're talking about the same thing, right? This here, this shadow would technically be there, but not because this is like, yeah, it's just, it's like a weird optical illusion, I think, which is if we drew it like this is indicating here that there's like an arm, like the sort of front of the armpit, and then that's like the pec, right? But this is wrapping back around, so it's got to be the lats. Has to be the lats. Unless it's not, then it's not. Great man, it's the lats. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad we're in agreement, Ben. Hope you're doing well, my man. She's gonna fall in the sand. I don't know about fall. Hola, Ale. Alright, let's have a look. Maybe we try and style this. Or like whack a different character onto this pose. We could try and challenge ourselves with that, maybe. I have never played volleyball. Oh, I don't know. Maybe never is a strong word. No, I don't play volleyball. Actually, I remember doing it in primary school. And you get like really red, like forearms. Alright, trying to find. Alright, so you got the glutes here, glute there. Heel of the foot. Ball of the foot. Toe, group them. Prob's a tad too big. Let's scooch it down just a smidge. You'd be great at it because you're tall, maybe. I don't know if I'm tall enough, like I'm tall, like volleyball tall. I'm standing right now. That's a funny. There's a lot of people that I met the first time at Lightbox. Thought I was a lot shorter than I am. I'm 6'3", 6'4" on a good day. There's no like scale on stream. What sports do you do? None. Unless you think of drums as a sport, because you get a bloody good sweat on. Unless you classify poker as a sport, I don't do any sports. I go to the gym. That's it, but it's not a sport. That's my activity is the gym. All right, we got some movement here, which is okay. Hate the face. Not her face. My face, my drawing. Not a fan. All right, so let's see if we can figure out this problem. Scott G, is there a filthy autofill plugin for Clip Studio Paint, or maybe for the future? I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it. I'm not sure if there's like a plugin ecosystem in Clip Studio. There may well be. I think when we first looked into it, just very peripherally, the plugin thing was written in Japanese, so we sort of gave that a miss. I think you can get something similar with stuff that's built in. I know a few people have said that you can, but yeah, not in the near future. It'll be really determined on Clip Studio's plugin ecosystem or API. Yeah, I was surprised at how short Ben was. 6'3" is volleyball height? Okay. I think you'd be good at pickleball. I don't know. Maybe. I used to play baseball. That was my sport. Now, can we push this further? 1,000,000% we can. Like, to get like some cool angles. Maybe it is actually like bugger real life. Real life's boring. Let's change some stuff up, hey? All right, maybe like the arm actually comes up this far, like she's about to just go bloody supersonic. And then that lat is going to be like, whoop. And then the head kind of is buried behind that arm. So it gives it that in front and behind. I don't know. Something like that. That feels better to me. I don't know about you. Thanks. Yeah, but not quite like that. Yeah, CSP has built-in lasso with similar powers to Filthy, at least according to JSeki. Nice. Alex, I love this problem-solving session. I'm animating a weird flip from imagination. I have the stream sitting on a second screen as a nice background. Oh, Alex, you legend. Great to be part of your creative process. Yeah, this feels better. This feels better. Good job, everyone. Were you a better catcher or a hitter? I was a pitcher. I was shit house at batting, but I was a left-handed pitcher that couldn't throw a strike to save his life. That was an issue of mine. Depending on the day. Some days I was dialed in. Other days, not so much. I just didn't practice. That was a big issue. I love picking people off. That was the most fun thing. If anyone understands baseball. Because as a left-hander, you have a bit of an advantage there. So I'll just end up walking them. I was just like, all right, walk, and then I'll get you out at first. See, this is a situation where straying from the reference makes sense. Or it can actually help. Because sometimes, like photography, it's only like capturing a very specific point in time. And like, you know, you've had photos that people have taken of you and you're like, what? Is that what I look like? And it's not. It's just like a super awkward like moment, because also what we're doing here is we're capturing this tiny part of the reference, right? But here we've got a whole bunch of other context. We've got color, we've got shadow, we've got this, we've got that, right? So we want to kind of do a little bit more, because maybe I could, because that could be fun. Like really put that shoulder up. But what that's going to have to do, we're going to have those traps really like compress. And be like, whew. And this arm somehow, we could give it like an armband or something. I don't know. like up here to really show that it's like coming backwards. It's like a little cheat. It kind of looks like her arm's broken a little bit, so maybe not. Let's undo, 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 undo. Let's keep us. Let's go back to our. Yep, that felt alright. It's kind of a nice line as well. Not my job. How you doing? I use Clip Studio to draw. Not a bad choice. I'm drawing a chipmunk that I saw at the park because this pose is too hard for me. That's the next on my list. It's like Pokemon when I go over to the States. I've seen a squirrel, amazing creatures. I've seen a raccoon, freaking cool looking things. I've seen coyotes like at 1 a.m, like in a little, I think there was 2 of them walking, like I was on like in a taller sort of building looking down, and you see like a couple of coyotes at like 1 a.m, clear night, spotlights, street lights, and they're just like on the hunt, like walking down the middle. It's like in West LA, I think. Yeah. I'm just like, this is cool as hell. So I've got coyotes, hummingbirds. Like, yeah. Those things are magical. Seeing a hummingbird, it didn't look real. All right, so this is coming down here, coming down here. I would also like, I want to do like a character exploration of the Project Hail Mary fella. I think that could be fun. Like trying to make it stylized and then do like Rocky is stylized. All right, so we kind of locked this in. Let's test our assumptions and see from a shape perspective if things make sense. I'm actually not a fan of this arm. I think it actually could be a little bit longer? Maybe not long. I guess longer to match this one because it's just quite long. Something like that, maybe. Nah, not a fan at all. Now I'm looking at it from afar, but it's what we've got, and we're gonna roll with it. Okay. So let's see. All right. I'm going to look at the bulk of this here. Understand it as like a 3-dimensional form. Center line. All right, because this is where it can get tricky because there's like all this muscle here that's going to be jutting out, and this is going to be compressing here, but we've really got the ribs that are like cutting through. Something like that. All right, so let me clean that up just a little bit, just so we can actually see. Let's try and find the ribs. All right, let's do some X-ray. Coyotes are so cool. I've heard some people call them coyotes. That doesn't sound right to me, so I'm just going to say coyotes. I'm not sure the exact pronunciation. Pronunciation, Jesus Christ. My RAM is full. I'm drawing at the moment, forgive me. All right, so this is... Now that's probably a little bit too exaggerated. Let's see if we can... Come on. Could not use the brush tool. Shut up. All right. Find that extremity rib rib down there, right? So it's going to be facing this way, this way. It's going to be like embedded. That spine is going to be here, landmark. That's going to be embedded here. All right, so we're trying to find, we're exploring. Because it's such an extreme pose. All right. Then you're going to have this little triangle thing. And then we've got the hips, the pelvis. Thank you, struggler. FYI, the scientific name for raccoon is trash panda. Oh, you've got trash animals as well. We've got bin chickens over here. They're the what is it? The ibis birds. Let's make this a different color so we can sort of see. So we've got that kind of boxiness of this going on. Cool, we got some structure, but now we've got this bulk of all these muscles and the scapula and the lats. I'm just trying to make sure everything's feeling, I don't know, I'm just exploring. I'm like, there's really no reason to do this other than I want to, okay? Welcome to the stream. Why are we doing this? Because I want to. We got the delts here. These delts here, they're going to wrap back around. This delt's way too big, so we can sort of kick that back. There's only squirrels where I live. Nothing wrong with that, thumb guns. Squirrels are cool as hell. The first time I saw them, I was like, what am I seeing? The little tail is awesome. Alright, so the head here. We would actually be seeing less of that front. Here. And that's what's compressing all this. All the neck is like... So that's the top side. Cool. Now legs. So we got the glutes. They're going to connect all into here. Glutes is a 3D object like everything else. Then that's going to connect that leg down here. I don't even know what I'm doing, if I'm honest. I'm just having a bit of fun trying to find these forms, you know. Then we got the, got the foot. I like this simplification of the foot here. It's quite nice. Because I've looked at other artists that do it, and I stole it. I can't even remember who I saw it from. A bunch of artists. So if we... Yeah, we got some structure there. All right, let's see if we can translate. Can we make this maybe like a chunkier dude? How would he look in this pose? They have a hummingbird sanctuary in California you could visit. Hell yeah, I'm down. Jui, hello from Taiwan. Good morning. Good morning to you. All right, so we've got big. All right, let's see. Now things are going to move slightly. A lot, actually. if we've got like a bulkier character, same deal. All right, let's try and find that. Find that gesture. But it could look kind of funny because it's a very athletic pose, right? So you got like big delt lats for days coming down here. This could look really stupid, but that's all right. Don't worry about it. All right, like if you've got arms and deltoids this big, your neck is going to be typically bloody huge, right? So we're just translating here, which is tricky. It is very, very tricky. This is, I think, handball, potentially. I don't think it's volleyball because I don't think the ball's that small. And I don't think you can hold it in volleyball. Quick question. What was your most memorable project to work on? I don't know. Probably the cover of Character Design Quarterly as of that I could the projects I can talk about. That's handball, yeah. Let's find this bloody neck. This neck here coming up underneath. All right. Skull. Tilted here. Down, down, jaw. Better. arm too long. So we got to account for the bulk. Okay, where is my big old softy? There we go. Nope. All right, let's see if we can find our because this guy is larger, potentially he's not going to be able to turn his neck too much or as much. All right, so we've got to take that into account. Yeah, maybe the arm's a little bit larger. That's what I'm looking for. Maybe a little bit of the elbow here. Then we got a little bit of that tricep action going on. Maybe. You never know. He might be terribly inaccurate. So he might be fine. So then we got this landmark here. The little spine, the C7, I believe. Arindam. I wish they had spaces with avatar names. But hello, how you doing? I'm good. How you doing? Okay. Since you're on sports theme, you should do some UFC drawing. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. See, I'm trying to find, right, the hard parts, so like the bones, and then anchor everything off of those, right? Hard part, head, hard part, right? Solid. That's what I mean by like the hard part. And there's like a balance to it as well, right? So you got the left hand side and the right hand side. We're going to be seeing more of this side than we would of this side, just because of the perspective of it, right? Thank you, Lala. Hey Ben, which pen tablet are you use? Are you showing? This is a, what is it? XP Pen Pro 14. It was a gift, not sponsored. It's getting old. I also have a Wacom, whatever it's called, Cintiq Pro. We're getting somewhere. It's feeling I don't know, not the best, not the worst. Still very gestural, which I don't mind. But we still got this coming back this way. We got this coming to the side, you know, so there's still that sort of movement, I guess you could say. I got inspired. I'm going to start drawing. Lala, fantastic. That's what I like to hear. Cool. I reckon, yeah, look, I could just keep noodling on this for ages, you know. Let's go to something else. So we did something. We took this, deconstructed it, and put it on this fella. We'll put this fella into this pose. Cool. What else? How do we try this? I like the lighting on this. It's very subtle. What about his foot? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Lana. The composition is here. There we go. Easy fix. I know, I kind of just got bored with it. Let's see if we can play, maybe. And whack a bit of color on this fella, potentially. Good, I'm glad you're not worried about it. We could just call it my style. The lack of foot. All right, eye. Nose. Crease. I don't like it when YouTube gives me a crown. What have you got a crown for? Oh, the next to your name thing. Do you talk too much, crown? No. It's the thank you for talking to me crown. This is like just really nice and subtle lighting. I like it. So let's see what we can do here. Let's establish a middle grey. Wait, hold on. Just something to give us a little bit of something to work with. We're staining the canvas. Maybe a bit darker to give us a bit of room. Cool. All right, so what do we got here? What do we got? Because it's so subtle, we're gonna... Rewarding you for being social. Nice one. This guy gives me cyberpunk vibes. Does a little bit. Does a little bit. Just trying to observe where those speculars are facing the most, you know. Let's not go too dark with the values for now. Let's maybe keep it a little bit more sketchy to begin with. Like a little bit looser. Which way do we want him to be looking as well? That's the other question. Maybe we get a little bit of the smudge going. Lana, I can see that. A little bit of champagne supernova. I can definitely see that. I did play around with this rake brush as well. I would like it, if it's okay with you, to throw on the pen tilt so then we can play with different textures. Because I'm starting to have a bit of a play around when I have a moment with textures, you know. This can be turned into a nice sculpt too, Drew. I would like to get a little bit out of my comfort zone and start doing like full bodies as well. Yeah, don't even mention champagne supernova. We'll get out his guitar, True. All right, so what have we got here? Can we just... have a play. Because sometimes, like, the cool thing with this, right? Like with the rake brush in particular, there's something that feels traditional about it. And that comes from sculpting, because you have like the little rake tool to smooth out sculpts. We could even play around with the direction of these lines, yeah? Which is, it's not working as exactly as I want it to. And he keeps on his face. I also want to improve in 3D sculpting. Very cool, Lana. Lala. Lana. Nice. I would love to see the work in progress of full body character. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm trying to figure it out how to separate color attributes in vertex paint so I can paint eyebrows, beard, mustache in separate layer. Maybe if I figure it out, I will share my knowledge. Yeah. Catch you later, Super. Thanks for popping in, my friend. Yeah, so Tomoki, what you would do is you would create a in the shaders panel, you'd create another attribute, a color attribute, right? You know where you get your attributes in on objects. You create another color attribute and use a mix shader, but then you got to do some masking stuff, which is annoying, but yeah. And you could use, or you could do it like a mask in a way. So you throw a big block of color down, put that attribute in, and then you could sort of like draw on it. So you're like revealing the color underneath. It's a pain in the ass, honestly. Try something called YouTube Paint. YouTube Paint does all that stuff for you. I use that sometimes as well. Now, I reckon I might just merge the sketch into one so we can start pushing and pulling these shapes together. I did my 3D sculpting. Excited to share with you in the upcoming meeting. Looking forward to it, Tomoki. It'll be good. I got quite a cool new book called Light and Shade for Characters. Pretty cool. Who's that by? It's Kenneth Anderson and some other guy. Nice. I think what I want to do is I almost want to lose everything in here. All right, in the shadow, really lose everything. All right, lessen that contrast. Mm. Arinda, Ben, could you please send me the links for those two pen tablets? I can't seem to find them online. Just Google XP pen. Oh, I'm not. It might be out of production because it is an old one. Yeah, just XP pen 15 Pro and Cintiq 32 Pro. I know the 32 Pro is out of production. They got their new ones, I think, yeah, potentially. Or also, I want to show you what I've been working on for Drea, the course platform. Our own custom 3D viewer where you can see animations and dissect. This is what I'm excited about for like really understanding forms, particularly because there's always this question about the other eye. Right? At what point? I mean, this is a pretty low poly model, so you take it with a grain of salt. But it's like at this point, look at that. None of that actually changes. It's all being occluded by that eyeball, right? But yeah, I've been working on this, and it's a ton of fun. All right, let's squint down and see what we are missing. We are missing a whole bunch of value difference. Roboto Mato. Appreciate you. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, because this is way too light down here. Because it's such a... I believe the light is probably going to be... Yeah, it's probably like a softbox. So you can like push all of this. There's still going to be hard-ish shadows. Thanks, Tomoki. Not a fan of the eye. I'm going to lose the eye here for a moment. We can bring it back later. That later is now. And also, if you're doing stuff like this, don't be afraid to whack another layer on and see if you can, if you're struggling, find your geometry. Find where this stuff should be. I also saw a reel yesterday, I think it was, where there was an oil painter. He was doing this massive oil painting and he put like a plastic clear sheet over the top of it and tried something out. And then you could like lift it up, essentially like a layer. And he's like, yeah, I like that. So now I'm going to do that on the final one. It's pretty cool. That's a better eye angle right there. So KSM apparently isn't doing live streaming anymore. What? To give a reason? Oh yeah, this is too much of a habit for me to break. I'm on like a almost 2-year unbroken streak. Ah, okay. That's good though. Good and bad, but nah, that's fantastic from the animation company side of things. That's great. I remember we were chatting about it last year. Catch you later, Lala. Thanks for popping in. Ben, have you ever tried camera projection in Blender? I have not. Sounds like it would be something I'd be interested in. So when you take a 2D image, like you're painting a projector from the camera. Yeah. I'm familiar with what it is. I've just never tried it. I wouldn't even know how to do it. Project it from a camera onto a 3D model so it wraps around the surface based on that camera view. I think if you... Yeah, 100%. I reckon that's a fantastic idea. No, I agree. Now, what drew me to, pun fully intended, to this reference was the subtlety in the value changes, particularly as it wraps around the head. So this is where we can really, really study it. All right. because this is going to be everything. The subtlety is going to be everything. Was your mutual upper oasis? True. The eyes still aren't looking like it's. We got to get that like ultra subtlety with those eyes. Because there's something also happening here. So we've got that geometry coming in here. Whoop, back out. So this is going to be catching just a little bit of light on his eyelid. Now there's this kind of ledge here. Where the skull kind of juts out. So we've got this sort of like up here, down, whoop, that kind of deal, yeah? The new artist in town, how you doing? This gives me grey matter exercise, identifying the light source and how it reacts to skin. 1,000,000%. We've got to understand where those light sources are, or else we will be just noodling around forever. Also the local value, because the brows are a slightly darker value, so we don't necessarily want him to have that kind of monobrow vibe. All right, let's see if we can stay zoomed out. Stay zoomed out, okay, deal. So we need to be ultra subtle here. You just reminded me, I forgot. I bought a piano. 100%. You should be playing it. You forgot you bought a piano. Let's get scribbly with it. I think that's what it needs, a little bit of. No smoothing. Let's see if we can introduce just a little bit of texture. And maybe even some form. What's the word? Descriptiveness. I bet you he also listens to Coldplay, this guy. Now, I feel like he's vehemently against Coldplay. I'm going to whack on a bit of champagne supernova for myself. You got me in the mood. Lovely. No, it's in my ears. Not not on stream. I've been listening to Spotify this whole time. We're getting high. Get your lighters out. Yeah, sometimes if the right song hits and I'm like rendering something, I'll just like turn around, just like go mental on the drums, get a bit of cardio in. Yeah. Ben, are you live streaming almost 2 years? How does it feel? Just pretty good, I guess, yeah. But it's like I say this a lot because a lot of people ask from a like a content and growth perspective. This is not a growth engine. This is not something I'm doing for optimal strategy, etc., etc. This is for me personally to keep consistency when I've got larger projects coming up or on the go at the same time, right? And it's turned into a little community of you guys that I've got my regulars that pop in. And it's also an opportunity for me because I got a bunch of projects going at the same time. As I said, I haven't drawn all week. It gives me an opportunity to do that. And it's like, all right, every Monday we sit down and we go and we do something, you know? Well, how long did it take to get a following on Insta? Did it blow up overnight? I wouldn't say overnight. It was reasonably fast, but I mean, comparative to what? You know, like some people have blown up way faster. But it's kind of, as I said, I've been working on a bunch of projects, so I haven't been in growth mode for a very long time. Um, maybe like a few months, it got up to like enough of a I guess a number you could say where I was like, all right, let's take this a little bit more seriously. So here I want to try and follow that. Oh, why does my brush... I want the brush to follow the... No, angle, jitter, penta, rotation maybe? Mother... Oh, this is annoying. Here we go. Can I just do it like that? There we are. Nice, it's definitely become a small community. 100%. Everyone's different. I don't think there's a right way. Some people take 10 years to be. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Have you seen the Avatar, the last Airbender movie leak with your art? I have not. All right, so we've got this. Let's darken up this top lip to get that consistency with everything else. We'll just do it with the rake brush. Then we can do the opposite of showing that bottom lip to give that form, you know. Oh, there's so many little bits and pieces that I'd love to continue on with this fella. I might do that projection thing that you mentioned, Tomoki. Not today, but I'll give it a go. Oh, but I just want the brush to do what it's meant to do. Dang, wanted to talk about it. Are you a fan of the series? Yeah, like not a massive fan. I never watched it that much, but I'm not a fan, if that makes sense. I appreciate it, Tomoki. Yeah, today you should just keep doing this guy. Yeah, I reckon so. Oh, come on, just put it where I want it to go. 8-hour stream of this guy. I appreciate it, Tomoki. This is almost like a cross between like very realistic rendering and stylized shapes, you know? I think word of mouth from your friends might work for Drea, plus your ad content too. Yeah. I mean, I'm customer number one, right? So if I can get it to work for me and get it to a place where I'm really, really happy with it, that's kind of the main goal to begin with. And it's almost there. You'll probably be the first or one of the first students to give it a whirl. I might actually reach out in the next couple of days to get you to hop on and start giving us some feedback on the course content. Your customer number one, yeah, I'm building it for me first, right? Yeah, put everyone to work. There's something about the eye that's really throwing me. Just sort of not loving it. Not loving the eye. Yeah, this whole area is not good. The snowman. Ah, appreciate it, Tomoki. Don't know who the snowman is. I vote darker eye personally, but it's your canvas. Yeah, it's not. I don't. It's not the darkness of the eye. I think it's the shape or the angle that the actual iris is. There's something off. This is where that iteration would come in. You know the snowmen where they're flying in the snow? Nope. Got no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, but he's thinking about Oasis, so he's just staring into space. Yeah, that's got like I don't mind the staring into space-ness of it. Maybe we're gonna darken some of these values, like just give it a step or two darker. Maybe that'll help sit it in a little bit more. That's one thing that I noticed that Lion Decker does actually. He does this like slightly dark. It's so subtle, like crazy, crazy subtle. He does this like outside line, you know, which gives it a nice little something, you know. Because it almost gives that illusion because we're darkening up the edges that you got that reflected light coming through. A texture brush, yeah. 100%. Yeah, super subtle. It's not in your face, you know? But it's also following the form. I think I'd like to see a little bit of that bulge there. So we're getting into this like real subtle form changes. I don't know, it's kind of got a bit of a traditional feel to it. Yep. Thank you, Tamaki. Is your favorite artist? Yeah, if I had a favorite, probably. Now, this area in here, see how it's a little bit ambiguous? Can't really tell what's going on, so we can do a couple of things to it. We could, if my brushes wanted to do the thing that they're meant to be doing. We could really like subtly start adding these transitions in between these forms so that they meld into one another realistic or believably, not necessarily realistically. Because it is a very smooth transition. Too dark, so we just got to subtly like, just grab that a little bit and then... We can start digging in a little bit of these deeper values if we wanted to. Even in the nose here. All right, I'm getting noodly now. I reckon with that, we might call it a stream. So, a little bit of a mixed bag today. Started off with some hands, some gestures. Then got a little bit of a translation of what we studied from here. Made it more chunky, which is fun. And then we ended up doing this fella. It was a fun one. And look, with that, I call it. This stream, for those of you that don't know, happens every week, Monday, 10:45 Australian Central Daylight Time, I think it is now, which I believe is 5 p.m. PST. Thank you to everyone in chat, as always. Appreciate you popping in and having a little bit of a chinwag with me while we're studying. And for those that are lurkers, I appreciate you just as much, yeah? Catch you later, Tomoki. Catch you later, Lana. Roboto Tomato. Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for popping in. And yeah, got some exciting stuff coming up on the horizon. And yeah, I will see you next week. Have a good one, guys.